The Champions League is back, and thank goodness for that. International break in October is always a snooze fest, but returning is the biggest competition in Europe. And me and our special guest today are very happy about it. This special guest, you have definitely seen him before if you've watched my channels. We travel all over the globe together. Introducing Fazarico, part of the Urban Ballers. How are we doing, Faz? Welcome back.
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. I'm excited. Like you said, the snooze fest is done. The Champions League is back, baby.
Thank goodness me, it's back. Did you enjoy international break, Faz? Because I think I've slept more than I've watched football this international break.
I did not watch. I watched one of the England games, but other than that, nothing at all. So dead.
Well, the Champions League is back and we've got some big games to go in. Faz was saying off camera that this could be the creme de la creme of the Champions League weeks.
It's going to be a very, very tricky week for a few teams. And we're going to get into it, obviously. We're going to get into the fixtures, but I'm excited, mate.
And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe down below, check out the Urban Ballers, link is in the description. They come on tour with me, so they're defo worth a sub. Arsenal take on Shakhtar Donetsk of the first game back in the Champions League. Now, Faz is an Arsenal fan, so I'm going to let him kick off the video.
Beating PSG, absolutely amazing. First home game of this season, Champions League. But I have to say, every single home game in the Champions League is a must-win game. Away from home, it's not as easy as it is at home. And we've seen that because when Arsenal went away to Atalanta, it was a bit of a tricky game. They didn't really feel comfortable. They didn't look comfortable the whole game. So this game, honestly, is a must-win game. Because if you want to get into the top part of this group, the group now that we have in this new format, you have to beat everybody that you play at home. PSG was a massive test. Everybody was saying, can they actually get past a really big team at home and do it in a convincing manner? I think PSG weren't at their best. They didn't really. But
I think Arsenal were. I thought Arsenal were excellent. I really did, Faz. I know you were at the game.
And I was at the game,
but you guys were excellent.
I mean, to be honest, you can only beat who's in front of you on any given day, right? And how they turn up, because you can only beat what they bring to the table. And Arsenal did that very easily. And it looked a little bit too comfy at times. I mean, this game, I'm expecting this game to be a little bit more tricky because I don't expect Shakhtar to try and come and go toe-to-toe and play. I'm expecting them to sit back a little bit, sit deep, start slow, hope they can just not allow Arsenal to get into a flow and a rhythm.
Speaking about Arsenal, they've got some amazing wonder kids in their ranks. Saliba just being 23 and arguably the best centre-back in the world. Saka being young as well. That brings us on to today's sponsor. Have you guys ever been so sure and so certain that a footballer will be successful in the future? Like in 2019, I noticed Bellingham absolutely destroy the EFL at Birmingham City. Imagine you could have cashed in on that prediction. Well, with Mecarreira, today's sponsor, it is now possible. Mecarreira is a game-changing platform that allows football fans to invest in football players like investing in the stock market. Mecarreira offers you exciting ways to participate of the financial success in players. It's a real-time market, meaning that players fluctuate in value depending on market demand. Meaning you'll have the opportunity to invest in players like Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and City superstar Oscar Bob. And you can see if they'll be the most valuable talent in their respective competition. What are you doing already? Check out Mecarreira. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Go on there, sign up, invest in talent, and reap the rewards. With Arsenal having many wonder kids on Mecarreira.com, make sure to check them out and invest in them because they are ballers. I'm going Arsenal 4, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. What about you, Faz?
It will start tight and I think Arsenal win 3-0. 60 million down the drain, yeah?
And Kai Havertz will probably score again. Let's move on. AC Milan take on Club Brugge at the San Siro, and Milan have been pretty dreadful so far this season. 3 defeats in their last 4 and back-to-back Champions League defeats to Liverpool and Leverkusen. It's not been an easy start for him. And Club Brugge, the Belgian champions, well, they're a very, very good team. And I think they're going to go and get a result at San Siro. Milan are not playing well. And I don't think they'll get a result. I'm going to draw 1-1.
For them, right now, if they don't get a convincing win, this is not going to be a very successful Champions League campaign. Let's be real.
It's not looking good for them, is it? It's not looking good for them at all. They need a win here. Desperately.
They need a convincing win, not just for the Champions League, but to turn it around a little bit and start building some momentum in the league as well. And for Brugge, this is like the perfect time to play them because they're thinking, if we get a draw here, I mean, because don't forget they won Sturm Graz at home.
They weren't bad against Dortmund in match day 1 either, Bruce. So
exactly.
I generally think that they could get a result here. That's why I'm going to draw, Faz.
And this is a good time for them to play AC Milan. I think the best that they can do is definitely a draw. But a draw is a really good shout, man. It's a really good shout. But I'm going to say Milan 2-1.
2-1 Milan to scrape it. I'll back it because they've got to get a win, and I don't see them doing it convincingly because Club Brugge are a decent team, quite an underrated team.
If they draw here, surely the coach is in trouble.
He's gone. He's gone. He has to go. He can't draw against Club Brugge.
Because exactly. With all due respect to Club Brugge, right? Like, don't get me wrong, they're in the Champions League, but like to go to the San Siro and then get a draw, that isn't because they've been excellent. It's because Milan aren't playing at the level they should be playing at.
This is going to be an interesting game that, again, Monaco have to win. They cannot afford to drop points at home, but Red Star Belgrade, this might be their chance to get on the board in the Champions League. I just can't see anything but a Monaco win. They beat Barcelona in matchday 1, but had a stinker against Zagreb in matchday 2. They've got to bounce back. They're back at home at Stade Louis II. I'm going with a Monaco win. 2-0.
Almost a swimming pool, to be honest. So like them coming from 2-0 down to make it a draw was, and they could have nicked it at the end as well. They could have won it right at the death, but they took their eye off the ball a little bit, because if they've got 2 wins out of 2 after such a convincing win at home against Barcelona, if they'd got the win away from home against Zagreb, a point is still good, don't get me wrong, but at home against Red Star, to be honest, surely
it's got to be 3. It's got to be 3 points.
It's got to be the 3 points, right? 3. I can't see Red Star doing anything because they've lost 5 out of the last 6, which is crazy.
Yeah, they're not playing well, are they, Red Star Belgrade?
Yeah. So I don't see. To be honest, I think they might score, Red Star. I think they might get a goal. I'm gonna go 3-1 Monaco.
Everyone wrote me off in the last episode, and JJ as well, so I decided to go to Villa Park and watch it unfold for myself. And they did it. They beat Bayern Munich. A John Duran goal gave them a 1-0 win in their second most famous Champions League night in club history. Their first one being the European Cup win against Bayern Munich. And now they take on Italians Bologna, who are going to make it incredibly difficult for Aston Villa. But for me, Villa have got that momentum. I know it was a difficult draw against Manchester United just before the international break, a 0-0 draw.
I was expecting a little bit of a hangover from that game. I thought Man United would get something because of the fact that they put so much into the Bayern game. I felt like there would be a little bit of, we just conquered Bayern. Like, who the hell are Man United? No offense to Man United, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't feature in this video, Faz, which says a lot.
And to be honest, I don't think they're going to beat Fenerbahce either. On a side note, I don't think they're beating Fenerbahce Thursday.
Fenerbahce are going to win that 2-0. Villa Bologna, I think Villa are going to win this game. Bologna are going to sit off, try and do the Italian mafia of defence. But Villa are going to break through. I'm going Aston Villa 4, Bologna 0. Another famous night in the Champions League at Villa Park is on the way. What are you thinking, Faz?
I'm thinking 3-0. They've just come back from an international break. They're not going to be as fluid as they were when they came to face Bayern. I think they'll get a convincing win, but I think it'll be 2 or 3. But I'm going to go with 3.
Girona take on Slovan Bratislava in a big game in Girona, and they were very unlucky in their first 2 Champions League games. They pulled it back against Feyenoord, but a couple of defensive mistakes cost them in that game, and then a very late goal from Nuno Mendes for the PSG game at the Parc des Princes in a 1-0 defeat. And Slovan Bratislava, I met a lot of their fans went out in Slovakia in matchday 2. They're just happy to be there. They don't expect to even win 1 game, and I don't think it'll start here today. So no disrespect for them, but I think Girona will get their first win of the competition, and they're going to win by 2-0.
I'm thinking 3 or 4. Obviously,
3 or 4. Wow.
I'll tell you why. If Celtic can score 5 against them, I'm expecting Girona to score a few more. So I'm going to go 3 or 4. I'm going to go 3. I'll go 3.
I'll back it.
3-0. I'm not even expecting. I'm not even expecting Bratislava to score, to be honest. And they are enjoying the Champions League. That's what their fans are going to be.
They're just going to
enjoy
the adventure.
Yeah.
That's what everybody was saying in Slovakia. Yeah. They're just here to have games at the Telhem Pole and just enjoy the adventure of travelling abroad to watch their team play.
Exactly.
Juventus take on Stuttgart. They are 2 for 2. They, old lady, are cooking in the Champions League at the moment. A brilliant win against PSV in matchday 1, and then a statement win against RB Leipzig in matchday 2. That one was a statement, and we'll come to Leipzig in a bit because they're taking on Liverpool. But this is a difficult game, and I think the fact that Juve are at home, they're playing well, Thiago Motta's got them playing, I think I am going to edge Juve in this game, but this could be close. Stuttgart impressed me against Madrid. What are you thinking, Faz? I just can't call this one. This one's going to be close.
I'm going to say Juventus will win. And I think it'll be a comfortable win. At home, Juve have been decent. And they look good. And like you said, they're playing ball right now, right? And I just think, like Stuttgart, in the last 6 games, they've only won 2. They've lost 1 and drawn 3. So they're not looking good. They've got a win in them, but I don't think...
before we go into this game as well. So that's a very, very difficult test. But they did batter Dortmund, so who knows?
Yeah, obviously, on paper, right, it should be a tricky game. But I just think, I'm just expecting Juve to just make a statement. I'm expecting Juve to come out and be like, you know what? We're going to smack you up. 3-1 to Juve.
Whoa, high scoring for Italians. Very high scoring. I'm going to differ. I'm going to go 1-0 to Juventus, me. 1-0.
Don't forget that
a job done for the Italians.
They scored 3 away from home against Leipzig, which isn't easy to do as well. And they had 10 men.
I know, that's what made it even more impressive.
Yeah.
To be fair.
So
very,
if they can do that with 10, if they can do that with 10 men, I'm expecting.
What can they do with 11 and at home as well?
Exactly.
But for me, Italians will always be Italians. I'm going 1-0. You've heard it here first. Paris Saint-Germain take on PSV Eindhoven in a really big game at the Parc des Princes. PSG obviously lost to Arsenal in matchday 1 while scraping past Girona. Arsenal in matchday 2, scraped past Girona in matchday 1. PSV a loss to Juve, which they were unfortunate to lose that one, and then a draw against Sporting Club de Portugal in matchday 2. For me, PSV have got to get something. PSG haven't been all that. I know they've been playing well in Ligue 1, and obviously PSV are 100% in the Dutch league, but for me, PSV have got to get something. Do you think PSV can, Faz?
Playing PSG right now, and the way PSG have been looking, and there's a bit of an issue with Luis Enrique and Dembele. Maybe there is an issue already brewing with other players as well. Taking that into consideration, maybe the team isn't feeling as though a team should be feeling. PSV could argue that this is the perfect time to play PSG. So if they do this right, if they set up right and they turn up, they can actually get something. A win, maybe not. A draw would be an excellent result.
I think they're going to get a draw. I think they've got to go and get something. I don't think they can get away with a loss and 2 losses and a draw in the first 3 games.
No, they can't. Yeah.
I don't think PSV are better than that. If they want to get in that playoffs, they'll be struggling if they lose this one. And PSG haven't been all that. They weren't good against Arsenal. There's unrest on the pitch, like you said. And they scraped past Girona in match day 1.
They did.
I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going 1-1. That's my prediction. Both teams to score.
PSV have got some really good players. I mean, so I really think if they turn up, imagine if they win.
I'm just making a face like, oh my God, it's going to PSV win. Do it.
Imagine if they win. I'm going to say PSV 2-1.
Oh! You heard it here first. If it happens, well,
shove your croissants up your ass.
Well, Faz, I'll buy you a croissant if it's 2-1 to PSV. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund in a rematch of last year's final at the Santiago Bernabeu. For me, it's a Madrid win. It has to be a Madrid win. It's going to be a good game. I'd love to see Dortmund put up a test, and imagine if they took away those chances that they had at Wembley in the first half, mainly that Karim Adeyemi one. If they would have stuck that away, who knows what would have happened. But Madrid did what Madrid do. Scored from a set piece, and they capitalised on a Matson mistake in a 2-0 victory to win number 15 for them. And I think they'll win this game at the Bernabeu. But I don't think it'd be easy. I'm going to go Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 1, Kylian Mbappe to get both goals. What are you thinking, Faz?
3-1 to Madrid. The man Endrick's going to score the 3rd.
Endrick on the break. Now, obviously, this comes as well with the fact that Madrid have got an El Clasico very, very shortly after.
Yes.
Does that bear the fact in mind that they need to beat Barcelona? Because Madrid haven't been perfect in La Liga. They've been dropping some points, especially away from home.
In order to get their Champions League campaign back on track now, Madrid, and obviously the Champions League is the most important thing to them anyway, this is going to have to be a bit of a statement win. Now, Madrid don't mind winning ugly, by the way. They don't mind suffering.
Oh, no, of course they'll win ugly.
Dortmund won't have enough, especially at the Bernabeu. It's a big ask playing Madrid anywhere, but playing them at the Bernabeu on a Champions League night, it's a big, big ask. And it really is going to be like a cold run. And I do not, to be honest, if Dortmund score a goal, I will be impressed. I am going to change it from 3-1, yeah. I'm going to say 3-0.
Yeah, I think that might be a statement win that Madrid need to start their season properly. And if they get a statement
and
win
if they
here,
get that
and then
going
they go and win
into
El
the
Clasico as
Classico,
well,
exactly.
then that is a massive turning point, and that they're really going to start cooking, because they are frightening on paper, but they haven't really clicked yet.
And I think it only takes one big game. It'll only take one big game. Somebody will get spanked 5 or 6-0 by this Madrid team.
A big
and once
team,
that happens,
and it could be Barcelona.
Exactly. And once that happens, boy, everybody will be shook, because you're going to be thinking, this is what we were expecting.
Sturm Graz take on Sporting. They had a decent result, Sporting Portugal, in the first 2 games. They've got a win and a draw, and I see them winning this one as well in Austria. I'm going 2-0. Vincent Gyökeres to get both. He's a baller. Can you see him at Arsenal, Faz?
Yeah, I like him actually, man. I think Arsenal were watching him as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I just think Sturm Graz, similar to Bratislava, the journey in the Champions League for them, this is what they're here for. And if they get anything along the way, whether it's a goal or a point, whatever it may be, they'll be over the moon.
Bonus.
Because they're just happy to be there. They are just happy to be there. But for Sporting, they've drawn 1 game in the last 6, and that was against PSV away from home.
Not a bad result against PSV, I do have to say, especially
no,
away.
absolutely away from home. So and don't forget, they beat Lille in a very convincing way at home, 2-0. And to be honest, so now playing these guys, Sturm Graz don't really have much of a chance. I don't even think. You know what? I'm going to say 2-1 to Sporting, and because of Sturm Graz's fans getting to see their team score a goal, and that's me. That's more wishful thinking for their fans than anything else, because it's not likely.
Atalanta take on Celtic in a huge game for Celtic. They got a great result against Slovan Bratislava, but then got embarrassed by Borussia Dortmund. There's been goals whenever Celtic have played so far, just the 5-1 and the 7-1 that they've been involved in. But I tell you what, Atalanta have really impressed in this competition. A really good result against Arsenal for them at home, and then a statement win away at Shakhtar Donetsk. I see Atalanta winning this one and getting a few goals as well. I just don't think Celtic have got the capability to keep up with Europe's best. But can Celtic get a result here? What are you thinking, Faz?
I'm thinking Lookman to get a hat-trick, just like he did in the Europa League final.
Well, we were there. We saw it happen.
Let's hope Celtic don't concede 7. I'm going to say 4-0 to Atalanta.
I'm going to say 4-0 Atalanta as well. Great minds think alike here. I don't think Lookman will get a hat-trick, but I think Atalanta are going to really...
Oh, they're going to tear them apart.
Tear the Scottish champions apart.
Yeah, they are going to tear them apart.
Yeah, they really are. They're going to tear them apart. But if Celtic get a result, then... But the problem is, you're only as good as your last game. And in the Champions League, you're only as good as your last Champions League game. And the fact that Celtic lost 7-1 after being at 1-1 in the game and getting absolutely destroyed. I know Dortmund away's not easy.
But they just collapsed.
No, I know Dortmund away's not easy, but they just fell apart, didn't they? They were
collapsed.
utterly embarrassing. I just think that Celtic are going to get beat here 4-0 as well. Brest currently sits second in the Champions League table. 2 wins out of 2. Absolutely flying. They're 11th in Ligue 1 at the time of recording. I don't know what's going on. Why not put all your eggs in the Champions League basket and give it a right good go? And I'm so proud of them. They're doing so good. But now, here comes the test. Bayer Leverkusen at home. Bayer Leverkusen, who beat Milan. They were unbeaten in Germany last year, winning the title, snatching it from Bayern Munich to make sure that they didn't get any more to their name. But I tell you what, Brest are going to give them a really good game, because this is the game that they've probably been waiting for months now. And I'm looking forward to it. What are you thinking, Faz? Can Brest get a result?
I've enjoyed watching Brest this Champions League. I'm not even going to lie. Honestly, Brest have been looking nice. Really good. Brest are looking really good at the moment, to be honest. They're looking really good at the moment. And I'm expecting them...
Are they looking fine, Fazolino? Are they looking fine, man?
I'm expecting them to give us a bit of a surprise. I mean, Brest have got to do something at home, right? Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's a draw. 2-2 draw.
I'm going a draw as well. I'm going 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going...
I love how we're thinking. I like it. I think it's a draw too. Everyone's going to go, Leverkusen are going to win. But everyone's underestimated Brest so far. Even I did. I was like...
You should never underestimate Brest. Honestly...
You should never
underestimate Brest. Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, what an embarrassing defeat against Benfica in match day 2. I did not expect that. I expected a draw. But I'll tell you what, Simeone will make sure that does not happen again. But Lille, Who would have thought Lille beat Real Madrid by 1-0? I'll tell you who would. JJ Cholton.
Could Lille beat both Madrid teams?
That would be
a
written
statement.
in the stars.
That would be a statement. If they beat both Madrid teams, that would be like, wow, check these guys out.
They've just conquered the city of Madrid.
Yeah.
Viva la Lille. Viva la France.
Yeah, exactly.
They've taken over your city of Madrid.
We've made Lille the capital city of Madrid, of Spain. It's no longer Madrid. Oh my God. I think after the 4-0 loss, I'm expecting Simeone's boys to be...
They have to have a reaction.
That is going to be a massive reaction because they were shockingly shite.
Benfica are a great team. I'm literally had the top on today during my live stream. I do love Benfica, but I tell you what, Atletico were genuinely
as good as Benfica looked because of the scoreline. You have to say, Atletico had a very bad day at the office. Like, it was a very big off day for them. Nothing but an easy win for Atletico, I think.
So what are you going for?
I'm going to say 2-0 Atletico Madrid.
I would love Lille to make history and conquer Madrid, but again, I just think Atletico have to react to that. I'm going to go 2-1. Scrapey Simeone performance. Growing up, this was one of the biggest games ever. It was the one that everybody gathered round the TV to watch. Barcelona against FC Bayern München. Hansi Flick welcomes Bayern to the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. Barcelona youngsters are cooking, but a very disappointing and surprise defeat to Osasuna in La Liga. Bayern, well, they got beat to Aston Villa. So anything is possible. Bayern are cooking in the Bundesliga. They're currently sitting at the top spot. But who knows what's going to happen when Barcelona take on Bayern Munich.
I'm expecting company to expect Bayern to come with a reaction. And I honestly think this is going to really show if Barca are really about it this season, because they've looked like they're creating something right now. The youngsters look so good. Yamal looks so good. I mean, we saw him at the Euros as well, right? So I'm expecting them to do something. Musiala with Bayern as well, and then they've got Elise as well. Like they've got some juicy players there as well. Do you know what I mean? So like,
they were cooking before the Villa game, Faz. They were in some fantastic form.
And to be honest, that is their only loss in the last 6. To be honest, in the last 6, Barca have lost 2. Bayern have only lost 1.
It was a very surprise defeat against Monaco in matchday 1 for Barcelona. I did not expect that.
Especially with it being the first game as well. I thought they would show, again, as in this is their moment, right? We're in the Champions League. Let's show what we're about. And they didn't really show it convincingly. And young boys, they have to win young boys. I'm sorry, but like that I'm not even going to include that game as a win, because if you can't beat young boys, you've got a serious problem, right? I'm gonna say Bayern to win. Vincent Kompany to go there and get the dub, bro. I'm saying 2-1 to Bayern. Harry Kane with the winner.
This is a very, very controversial prediction I'm about to drop. I don't think Barcelona are at it. I think they've got some good players in some good areas. I think they've got some great players in some good areas. But for me, the team is being built round a player, Lewandowski, that is a bit too old now. He has to, unfortunately, it's time for him to move to the MLS or to move to Saudi Arabia. I just don't think he's capable of performing now at the very, very big games in the Champions League. Barcelona are going to get slapped. Bayern Munich are going to go there and win.
I think they'll score, but I think Bayern to win.
I don't think they will. I think Bayern Munich are going to go and win 4-0.
Wow.
And potentially maybe get more. I genuinely think that when we go Bayern and Barca back in the day, right? Yeah. It's so even. 1 year Barca would win. The next year Bayern Munich would win. Ribery and Robben would go there and win. Messi would show up. But for me now, there is no competition between the two teams.
There isn't.
Bayern are better in every single area of the pitch, bar Lamine Yamal. You take Lamine Yamal and put him in Bayern Munich's team, they strengthen him up. But Elise's playing so well as well that there's not much of a difference. There's not much of a gap.
I was going to say,
Bayern win.
Would Yamal get into this Bayern team right now?
I think Lamine Yamal is a brilliant player. He's not team of the year quality, in which Barcelona fans think he is. He had a brilliant Euros, don't get me wrong, and he's so young and we can't wait to see him develop. But I think Barcelona needs somebody like Nico Williams in that team as well. They need to go and sign him from Bilbao. They need a bit of a structure in that midfield. Obviously, with the injury of Frankie de Jong, they're a little bit vulnerable in that midfield. So I just think that Bayern are just better, and that's why I'm going 4-0. There's going to be a reaction after that Aston Villa defeat, and Barcelona are going to be, unfortunately, the team that just get it.
To be honest, I see Bayern winning. And I'll be happy for Vincent Kompany if they win as well, to be honest.
Benfica, well, 2 wins out of 2. Away at Red Star Belgrade, never an easy place to go. But that statement win against Atletico Madrid, I know we said before Atletico were bobbins, but That's still no discredit to Benfica. They still had to... They can only beat what's in front of them, as Faz says, and they disposed of Atletico Madrid very, very professionally. Now they take on Feyenoord, who had a good result against Girona, but then got beat at home heavily by Bayer Leverkusen. I can only see a Benfica win here. What about you, Faz?
To be honest, I think Benfica are going to get another few goals. And I don't think
Really?
Feyenoord will score.
A big win.
I think it'll be a big win. Yeah, I'm gonna go 5-0 Benfica.
5-0 to Benfica. Holy moly. I know Benfica are cooking at the moment, but
Yeah.
this would be a statement.
Well,
I'm going 3. I'm going 3-0 to Benfica as well. Like you, I don't think Feyenoord will score. I think Benfica are solid at the back. Otamendi still playing well. And I think Di Maria's going to bag a free kick. Very optimistic.
I'd like him to. I'd like him to be fair.
City welcome Sparta Praha to the Etihad. It's going to be an amazing away day for them. Me and Faz have explored the beautiful city of Praha, and now they're coming to explore the wet of Greater Manchester. The rain and the exchange key, and Media City and everything like that.
The dull Manchester.
The dull, wet 0161. I don't see anything but a City win. Let me know what you think, Faz.
It's going to be a cold and wet night, and they're going to go home after conceding 6, maybe 7. To be honest, if they concede early, it could get nasty for them, mate. It could get bloody nasty for them. Do you know what I mean?
It could do, mate.
It's going to be, mate. I'll feel sorry for them. If they concede 1 in the first 10 minutes, forget about it, mate. They're gonna get smashed.
I think City need a big result as well. We haven't really been cooking post-September international break. Scrapey wins against Fulham and Brentford at home. Obviously, not a couple of draws in there as well. Obviously to Arsenal, Newcastle, and then a disappointing one to Inter Milan at home in match day 1. So City need a big result. We haven't had a big result.
There hasn't really been
so far.
At home. I do not see Sparta Prague scoring. I do not see it.
Neither. I'm going 5-0. 5-0 for me.
7.
Oh, that'd be lovely. 2 defeats in 2 for RB Leipzig, albeit very difficult opponents, but they were unlucky. Well, they lost by 1 goal in both of the games. A 3-2 home defeat to Juventus, even though Juventus had 10 men. That'll hurt them, that'll sting them. And then a disappointing defeat as well away in Madrid at the Metropolitano to Atletico. And it doesn't get any easier. They've got Liverpool next at home at the Red Bull Arena. And unfortunately, I see 3 defeats out of 3. Arne Slot is cooking at the moment for Liverpool, albeit a disappointing result against Nottingham Forest at Anfield. They still sit top of the Premier League by 1 point, and I just don't see Liverpool getting anything but a win here. It was a statement win in Milan to go to the San Siro and to make them look... I know Milan are not playing well, right? But they made them look pants. 2 goals from set pieces, and then they walked in number 3. I can see them scoring 3 again. I'm going 3-0 to Liverpool in Leipzig.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say 3-0 to Liverpool. But because you said 3, I'm going to go 4. 4-0 to Liverpool.
Do you see Leipzig scoring?
No, I don't see them score. Definitely not.
Not against Van Dijk or Canate.
Definitely not. I mean, in the last 6 games, Milan scored 1. And they got the goal first. But they conceded 1 against West Ham, 1 against Wolves, the Forest. And that is it really. They're not really giving much away. And because of that, I'm not expecting amazing attacking play from Leipzig. I think they're going to have to play very, very compact and hope that they can get something from the game by frustrating Liverpool. If they go toe-to-toe with this Liverpool team, oh my Lord, it could be 5.
They're going to get smacked.
It could be 6.
It's just whether Xavi Simons is going to play on that left and target Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't think he's going to get much luck on the right playing against Robertson and Van Dijk.
I don't think
Van Dijk's the left centre-back.
Yeah, I also don't think he'll be able to do much against Trent. I don't really... I like right now, Trent's in a good place. So
Trent's playing better defensively, I do have to say.
Because I feel like he's happy.
Very good.
No, don't get me wrong. Xavi Simons is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But I think when Trent's happy, and he is happy at the moment because you can see the way he's playing. Like I don't feel like he'll have a bad game, to be honest. Because he defensively, he's been brilliant. So I don't really in that back line, Liverpool's back line right now. There isn't many chinks, or you can say mistakes that I've seen.
I don't think there's any mistakes.
Yeah,
I think they've got 2 of the best centre-backs in the world at the moment. Trent is the best full-back in his aspect in the world. Obviously, more attacking than defensive, but he's definitely improving on the defensive side. And Robertson's always super consistent. They've got arguably the world's best goalkeeper as well.
Absolutely.
Defence wins titles, and that's what concerns me about Liverpool this season. If their defence starts showing up, they are going to start winning games because they've got the capability to score goals. Absolutely. Not a problem. It's keeping them out, which is what they lacked a bit towards the end of last season.
As long as you keep winning, you build that momentum, and they are definitely building momentum at the moment. And like you said, the top of the league in the Premier League.
Let's have to see. Will Liverpool be there or thereabouts for the Champions League? RB Salzburg are back at home. This time they're taking on Zagreb. Positive point for Zagreb in the game against Monaco at home. That was the craziest pitch I've ever seen in my life. In a Champions League pitch, never mind.
Man.
Oh my days. It's a pool. It was literally a pool of mud.
Shocking.
But they used it to their advantage and managed to get a tie. And that's all that matters for them after a 9-2 defeat in matchday 1 to Bayern Munich. I see this one as a Salzburg win. I just see the home team when Zagreb go away. It's difficult to play away in the Champions League. And I just see Salzburg getting a 2-0 win in this game. What are you thinking, Faz?
I'm actually thinking it's going to be a draw, to be honest. Salzburg aren't exactly wow. I mean, they got battered by Brest. They got battered by Prague as well. So I think Zagreb have got a goal in them. I think it'll be a draw. You
going 1-1?
1-1, yeah. I'm going 1-1. 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1.
Young boys currently sit bottom of the Champions League table. They've got to start showing up at Stadion Wankdorf. And here come the Italian champions, Internazionale of Milano, who had a brilliant result at the Etihad Stadium. And I see them scoring 5 goals because Thuram is killing it at the moment. And he's so annoying to play against on Foot Champs this year in FIFA. And Inter's midfield is extremely strong. Calhanoglu in a new role sitting in front of that back 5. And then you've got Barella, who's playing brilliantly well. Inter are crazy at the back with the best 25-year-old in the world, Alessandro Bastoni. If you know, you know. For me, Inter win this one 5-0 at Stadion Wankdorf. How about you? That's what you thinking?
Minimum 5.
Minimum?
Could be 6.
Inter don't usually score goals though, so I think 5 is a bit of a... I know young boys are bad, but I think 5 is a bit like, oh my God, Inter score 5 goals, whoa.
So I'm expecting Inter to be really efficient. And like you said, Thuram is firing right now, right?
He is.
And Barella is a top player. I mean, we saw him at the Etihad, how good he was.
We did.
How good he was against that City team. And in such tight spaces, how good he looked and how comfortable he looked against a very, very intense press from Man City, right? So imagine against a team like Young Boys, how effective he's going to be. They don't really have a defence, do you know what I mean? So like...
They don't, so how many goals are you going for?
I'm going to say 6-0 Inter.
6-0. Heard it here first. So that brings an end to the Champions League prediction. Do you guys agree with us? Let us know in the comments. Fazolino, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure you will be on an adventure soon. We're going to go to Sporting and then Milan in the next Champions League week to watch Sporting versus City and Inter versus Arsenal. So make sure to check out the Urban Ballers. Link is in the description. And we will see you guys very, very soon. The Champions League is back, baby.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.